Hello, crafty friends. Welcome to Paper Moon Journals. I'm so excited to share some fun and easy card making inspiration with you today. As a design team member for Sweet Pea Curiosities Etsy shop, I've had the chance to work with their gorgeous Mixed Media Bee Ephemera digital kit. And let me tell you, it's been so much fun. I made 2 sizes of cards, 4x6 and 3x3, and I couldn't stop making them. These cards are perfect for a mass make session where you can sit down and create tons of cards in one go. So grab your supplies and let's dive in and get creative. You can see here this yellows from scrapbook.com was included free with my last order. And when I initially received it, I thought, boy, I don't use yellow. Also from this unicorn pad, comes with 2 shades of yellow. I refer to it frequently. It's a Hobby Lobby brand, and every other week goes on sale for 40% off, so that's nice. But I'll also be using this fun corner punch, a paper cutter that 6x8 folds neatly into a 4x6 card from that pad as a card base, so that could be a pad of card bases. And then these are the 2 pages of images that we'll be using today, although you get multiple pages of images, and I think 3 or 4 of them are the smaller version we'll use on the 3x3 cards, and then this larger size here we'll be using on the 4x6 cards. Here's some of the smaller images I've already cut out and used the ticket punch. I like adding glitter, Stickles glitter, to the little bees. I don't know if you can see that, and to different parts of the costume. So some of these I've already gone through and embellished a little, and then the other ones we can do together here. For the 3x3 cards, you can get 8 from a single sheet of 12x12, and let me show you how. It couldn't be easier, really. I also will be using some flatbacks glue and the Stickles glitter that I already mentioned. Okay, now I've made some room to work. All you need to do is cut 4 3-inch strips. And then cut those strips in half. And then when scored at 3 inches, you'll end up with 8 3-inch square cards. It is so fun. And then I bought the envelopes, craft colored envelopes, 3 1/8 inch square from Amazon. And then you can either just fold them in half and score them in half, which I do, but it isn't quite as straight or as tidy, at least when I do it this way. Or of course, if you have the scoring tool, then just score each one at 3 inches. Yes, I'm trying to fix it. Score each one at 3 inches, and then you'll have a nice little stack of card bases, and you'll be off and ready to go. Once we have our little stack of card bases, we're ready to start cutting some of the matting pieces that will help make our little cards pop. And now we're over at the cutting board. I am cutting I need some pieces that are 2 3/4 by 2 3/4, and then also some pieces that are 2 inches by 2 5/8. Those will mat our tiny photos, and then the square images will mat the card base. So I have a couple black card bases left over from my last mass make, so I thought we would use those up. And then I have a couple that we cut out of the craft ready to go. So I'll be doing some mixing and matching, and you can decide which ones you like better. If you like the craft colored better, or if you like the black better. They're all getting craft envelopes regardless. So yeah, so I'll be cutting some of those out, and then why don't I meet you back here with some of that ready. I'll be picking some yellows from this pad of yellow. And again, I'll be cutting both the black and the yellow in both of those sizes, 2 3/4 inches squared and the 2 by 2 5/8. Now that we've spent a few minutes preparing our pieces, we're ready to start assembling and gluing everything together. And that's part of what makes this so addictive. Some of these small pieces I prepared in advance with glitter. But for the black bases, I'll be using the yellow squares and the black rectangles. And then for the craft base, I'll be using the black base with the yellow rectangles. So it makes it fun. I like to think that if I'm able to part with these, I'll sell them in sets of 4. And then hopefully that'll make it worth the shipping on Etsy when I get them listed. But I frankly fallen in love with them. And while I can give them away, somehow I don't know if I can make myself create listings to sell them. I really love these little cards. They were so fun to make. So after gluing the things down, adding some glitter, what really gives them a professional kind of polished finish, they look great now. You could stop here, but let's add more. I love more. So if we add some little flat backs, that will add some shine, some dimension, and it just looks so polished and professional. It doesn't look like a homemade, or it does, but I mean it looks less artsy craftsy and more polished and professional, I think, when we add the flat backs. So I'm getting my finger slightly tacky by tapping it to the glue, and then because I know having sticky fingers will help my finger to pick up the flat back. So I do a combination of using sticky fingers to pick it up and or just pinching it with my hands. I've tried using tweezers, but that's actually more difficult since they're kind of slippery and so small. So on the black paper, I like to use the gold flat backs, and on the yellow paper, I like to use the black ones. There's, I'll have a link in the description box to my Amazon affiliates link, but I know on my supplies list, I have these flat backs, and I use them quite a bit. I bought mine maybe 2 years ago, and it doesn't look like I'm close to using them up yet. Okay, then I just try to get them so that they're evenly placed in the corner, and I'll set that one off to dry out of the way where hopefully I won't bump it. And then we can add flat backs to the next one. I'll do the same thing. And then why don't we cut ahead? Even though we cut 8 and I make it, often 8, I'll sit and make them in little groups of 4 just because that's what fits on my surface and is comfortable. And then about the time I finish 4, maybe I can, help those to dry or move them aside and make 4 more. So let's make a couple on the craft so you can decide which ones you like better. You can decide for yourself. So on the craft ones, we'll be adding the black background with the yellow. I'll speed this up since this is repeat. Okay, so I've sped it up to about 3 times faster than actual speed. I think that's a little bit more pleasant to watch, but not so fast so as to make someone sick, I would hope. And there we go. I kind of like the craft ones quite a bit. I like the way we use the yellow to pop the cut apart, or in this case it's a digital print. You can do the same exact thing with cut aparts though. The nice thing about digital prints, as I've already talked about, is that I can just print this out and make as many as I want. I've made about 3 dozen. I love them. I don't want to part with them. I can just print everything out over again and make a whole nother batch. And then if somebody wanted one and I'd already sold it, I could just print out more again. It's just so nice to not have to buy more, hope that they're still in stock, wait for it to arrive to be able to add more to your project. I love the scrapbooking papers, but what I really like is using them in combination with each other so that you have the advantage of the digital images and then the perfect printing and high quality of the scrapbooking papers. Or just solid colors, if that's the way you like to go. Moving on, I think we should make some 4x6 cards. And these are the 2 that we'll be making. Usually I would make these 3 at a time because the way I cut out the cardstock, you get 3 cards per 12x12 sheet of cardstock. And I really like the, bottom opening card style as opposed to left or right. It favors whether you're left-handed or right-handed, which is nice. It stands up on the table well and looks nice. And then, as I already said, we get 3 out of a sheet without any waste. So let me clear off some room, and we'll get my strips. You get 3 4-inch strips, and when you fold it in half, 4 by 6. So I have 2 here, since that's all we'll be making today. I used the other strip to cut apart black pieces for our matting on the 3 by 3. I also like rounding all the corners when I make these too. That looks really sharp. And then for these, I've bought envelopes as well. I haven't added these to my Amazon supplies yet, so if I still haven't done that and you see the video, you need the link, please let me know in the comments or message me on social media. So I'm going to pick my favorite shade of yellow from this beautiful pad of yellows. Never thought I would love yellow so much. Yellow was always the color I used least. And if that's true for you, then maybe you can bust a bunch of your yellow paper. I know I'm doing a Smash Your Stash, Paper Stash Smash challenge on YouTube, hosted by another channel. I'm collaborating with almost a dozen channels. And one of the goals for March is to smash your 8x8 or 6x8 or 8x10. And so here we are, starting to smash this yellow 6x8 pad. It's a really odd size, and I before would have thought I normally would just cut it into a 6x6, and then the extra offcut strip I would use on the project, something like that. But again, it also makes perfect card bases. So the 6x8 is fun for that. You just fold it in half, and you have a right side opening card. Let me make some room again on my work table. We have our 2 card bases. I cut those to 3 3/4 by 5 3/4 inches. And then I'm using my fun corner rounder to give it a decorative corner. I think that will really pop on the yellow against the black. You could also just leave the corners squared off if that's your preference. Looks nice also. Here we are with the images already glued down and matted, and I used my fun corner rounder on them as well. We'll be adding some flat backs and some glitter to these. I thought I might get some of the flat backs on first before I go to town on it with the glitter. I'll be using Stickles glitter to decorate these. I'll be adding black flat backs. Why don't I go ahead and skip forward to where we're doing the glitter? Okay, I have 2 different colors of Stickles glitter. I think the yellow that has blue glitter in it, and then the gold is really nice. Let's go ahead and get everything on here and let it dry before we move on to the second card. So I'm going to add some glitter to the collar so that there's some glitter on the lower half of the card, so the collar of her jacket and shirt. And then I'm going to add loops around the petals of the flowers. I don't know if that's overkill or not, but that's what I'll be doing. And then if you have flat backs, I'll be adding a really shiny black flat back to the center of each one of those flowers. Next, the other thing that I like to do is I like to add the gold glitter onto the bees. And then sometimes, like on her face, we can maybe use a couple of the smaller ones to be the bee's eyes. You know, big old flat back, buggy eyes. That can be fun. And that's what we're going to do on her face. The bee that's right on her face is going to have 2 big old buggy eyes. And then some of the smaller ones, I just put a single bead. I think of it more of like the center of their back as opposed to their eye. is maybe shiny. I don't know. Looks nice. And then if they're really tiny, I just add a little polka dot of the gold glitter on top of each bee to kind of make each bee sparkle and draw a person's eye there. I really love how this looks with all the super glittery flowers and then the shiny flat backs in the middle of the flowers. Looks so nice. Okay, that's going to take a while to dry. I got that stickles on there thick. So now we can add our flat backs, and then we'll add glitter to this one, this project. This digital has been so much fun. Before the video, I had already made 20 cards, and then after filming, I continued making some. So in addition to the 2 we made here, I make 4 more. And then what else do I do? In addition to the little 3x3s that we made here, I think I must make like a whole nother sheet or 2 of the little 3x3 cards. And then add those to the, like, I think 15 or 16 I already had. So, yeah, on screen I'm doing as I said I would, which was to add that golden glitter to each one of the bees. And then I'm using the yellow glitter around her sweater and around those, like, moth wings that bee has. I don't know, it's interesting, but also fun. So as I was saying, while the glitter was drying, I continued making more. And I love this more rich orangey shade of yellow that I got from the pad. Then some of the more lemony yellow I used as card bases, just because I suggested the idea and then didn't do it. Here's the 2 that we made on camera. They've all completely dried. And it's so stunning. I just love them. The envelopes hadn't arrived yet, so, you know, they're not paired with their envelopes yet. And then here's the 3x3s, some that we made together and some that I made after. Again, while I was waiting for glitter to dry, I just kept going. So much fun. I hope you'll check it out. If you do, please tag me and Sweet Pea Curiosities so we can see what you've made. I know I would love to see it, and I'm sure Marissa would too. She's so nice. I really appreciate her and being on her design team. Here's a look at all the ones that I made before I even filmed the video for you guys, because it was so fun. I just could not stop making them. Thank you so much for watching today. I hope you enjoyed seeing how I created these cards using the Mixed Media Bee Ephemera kit. Don't forget to check out Sweet Pea Curiosities on Etsy for this amazing digital kit and more. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up and don't forget to subscribe for more crafting inspiration. Happy crafting, and I'll see you next time. As always, have a wonderful day.